Nice to meet you, Carla. How are you?
Listen, I'm better now that I'm talking to you because this is a film that I never in a million years thought I would have been emotional about
hmm
because I'm a nerd, but I'm not a science nerd.
hmm
So I was kind of like, okay, let me see what's and honey, by the end of it, I was in the ugly cry, as Oprah would say.
Well, I have
When
to
y'all
say,
got to I'll be seeing you, I was spent.
and Billie Holiday tugging at your heartstrings. I actually always find this the biggest compliment when someone says some version of like, I would have never chosen to see this film for whatever reason. I'm not into space. It's outside of my interest. And it sucked me in some way. I love hearing that because we did try to make this film. It's a human interest story, right? And it's very difficult because it's always going to be relegated to looking like a science documentary or a space documentary, and it is. But I hope it's also a much more than that. And so I'm very happy to hear you responded to it. I'm sorry that you ugly cried though.
Listen, at least I was in the comfort of my own home. Had I been out in a theater somewhere, it would not have been a lovely thing to witness. Trust me when I tell you, it was the snot. It was not cute. It really wasn't. It was kind of like watching ET come to life, is what it was. But what I want to know from you, Ryan, is um, what was uh, what was the choice to embark upon this world, because this is a NASA project that we hear about in the news in a blurb, but we don't see it to this extent, never in any kind of film that I can remember. So what made you want to tackle this and present it in this way, because it was really beautiful.
Thank you so much. I love journey stories, and I think that is the through line between all of my films. I feel very privileged to be a documentary filmmaker who's been allowed to go on some crazy journeys with people going through some crazy things, and to get to be on the sidelines for that and win people's trust over. I really enjoy that type of story, and that's especially at this point in my career, those are the types of stories that I seek out. And this felt like one that was totally different than most of the stuff that I get pitched. And I felt like if we can make a character-based film about these two robots on this insane journey and take the audience to Mars in a way that's never been done, what a unique opportunity as a documentary filmmaker. Like, I didn't make this story up. A screenwriter didn't write it. It's a true story and it is a documentary, but it is a fantastic adventure. And so I was drawn to it and I wanted to be a part of it.
I want to talk to you about the music aspect of it, because the music was very intentional and most of it was done by the scientists themselves when they would pick the song of the day. But then you had to collaborate with your composer Blake Neely on some other music, and I just wanted to know what that conversation looked and sounded like to fill in the gaps.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've worked with Blake Neely on many of my documentaries, almost all of them. And we always begin the process very early. He starts writing music much earlier than I think most composers do, because I like to start listening to music, even if it doesn't end up in our final film or it's some very far off iteration of that. I like to listen while I'm traveling to my shoots just to start putting me, it's like a, I don't know, like a fighter getting in the zone, I think, before I shoot. And so Blake starts writing that music for me. And this music evolved a lot while we were making it. And that was namely because we hired Mark Mangini as our sound designer, and he did Dune and Mad Max Fury Road. And while we were working with him, we realized he was capable of doing so much of the heavy lifting of bringing an authentic Mars to life. And it gave Blake and I a lot of freedom to not have to do that in the score itself. And it allowed us just to become, I think, a lot more cinematic in how we scored it. And it's the biggest orchestra we've ever had. I think it was 60 something musicians that played in this orchestra, and it's a big, epic, beautiful story. And we wanted the score to do that justice as well.
Thank you so much for giving me your time today, Ryan. And I just want to give you props with, all of your work. You always find the humanistic side of it with Dr. Ruth, with Serena, and with Goodnight, Oppy. You've done it again. Congratulations. And I'm waiting for y'all to pick up that Oscar, baby.
Oh, we'll see. But thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here. Take
Take
care.
care, Carla. Bye bye.
Bye.